The U.S. Space Force has unveiled its first official recruiting commercial. The video shows a young man staring at a night sky and intermittent glimpse of military and space assets as the narrator says, "Some people look to the stars and ask, what if?" The voiceover says in the 30-second video, "Maybe you weren't put here just to ask the questions. Maybe you were put here to be the answer. Maybe your purpose on this planet isn't on this planet." General J. Raymond, the Chief of Space Operations, previewed the commercial during a morning video conference. He also stated a high level of interest is received in his new military branch. Viewers may note that U.S. Space Force was founded in December. On Friday, a spokesperson for the North Korean military condemned recent military activities by South Korea in the West Sea. Ministry of the People's Armed Forces said in a statement, which appeared in the Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, "Such reckless move of the military warmongers of the South Side is the height of the military confrontation which would leave tongue-tied even their master who responded to every military drill staged by us with words like halt and regretful, saying it does not help the efforts to diffuse tension on the Korean peninsula." It emphasized that South Korea was undertaking a deliberate pursuit of confrontation. The statement added, "Everything is now going back to the starting point before the North-South Summit meeting in 2018, referring to the meeting between Moon and Kim." This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer All Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. The U.S. Navy is planning to acquire a new class of light amphibious warships. The idea is to have a fleet of ships that would be significantly smaller and cheaper to operate than its existing fleet of large amphibious ships. These vessels are expected to play an important role as the U.S. Marine Corps is looking to conduct future operations in a more distributed manner. Navy officials from PMS 317 said that the objective number of light amphibious warships, LAW, it hopes to buy is between 28 and 30. PMS 317 stated, "Evolving threats in the global maritime environment causing the naval forces to reevaluate and adjust their CONOPS, concepts of operation, to meet the new challenges associated with maintaining persistent naval forward presence to enable sea control and denial operations." The light amphibious warships are intended to provide naval forces the maneuver and sustainment vessels to confront the changing character of warfare. The vessels of this class are expected to be 200 feet long, have 8,000 square feet of cargo space, and expected to have a crew of about 40 sailors, as well as be able to accommodate at least 75 Marines. South Korea carried out the initial test of a new heavy payload ballistic missile in March 2020. The news was reported this week by Yonhap News Agency, citing an official source. The missile, known as the Hyunmoo-4, saw 2 tests from the Anhung Proving Grounds on the country's west coast. The details regarding the missile are limited, but Hyunmoo-4, like the Hyunmoo-2 and its variants, is thought to be a solid propellant rocket. The Hyunmoo-4, however, has been reported to carry a payload as large as 2 tons, to ranges of up to 800 kilometers or about 500 miles. Reports indicated that the testing was overseen by the Agency for Defense Development, South Korea's indigenous defense research and development organization. According to Yonhap, 2 Hyunmoo-4 projectiles were tested in March but one misfired. The 2-ton payload for the Hyunmoon 4 was made possible by revisions to the U.S.-South Korea missile guidelines, which previously governed payload limits. Although range limits remain, the development of a missile like the heavy payload Hyunmoon 4 could enable South Korea to hit targets further away using the same booster by reducing the payload. For example, if the warhead is a smaller one of 1 ton, the missile could travel much further compared to when carrying a 2-ton warhead. The missile is seen as a deterrence against North Korea. U.S. Marine Corps and Navy forces recently conducted mock amphibious and air assaults on a pair of small islands in the Persian Gulf that belong to Saudi Arabia. The exercise seems to be aimed at Iran. Viewers may note that a swarm of small Iranian boats performed provocative maneuvers around a number of U.S. Navy and Coast Guard vessels during training in this area. The 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit, MEU, and the Navy's Bataan Amphibious Ready Group conducted the exercises on Karan and Quran Islands. The Bataan Amphibious Ready Group includes the Wasp-class amphibious assault ship USS Bataan, the San Antonio-class landing platform dock USS New York, and the Harper's Ferry-class dock landing ship USS Oak Hill. Arleigh Burke-class destroyer USS Stout was also involved. The force conducted many tactical steps that would be required for launching real assaults on an island. The U.S. Navy has commissioned USS Hershel Williams in honor of West Virginia native Hershel Williams. Williams is a Marine Corps veteran and is the last living Medal of Honor recipient from the Battle of Iwo Jima. Acting Secretary of the Navy Thomas Modly said in a news release, "This ship honors a man who dedicated his life to service, heroic service as a Marine, and continued service to his fellow veterans. The dedication will live on in USS Hershel Williams as the ship is deployed around the world, bringing additional capability to our growing fleet." This is an ESB, an expeditionary sea base, said General David H. Berger, Commandant of the Marine Corps. He added, "It's a floating, moving island. 2 things stand out: versatility and affordability. The ship is purpose-built to be versatile and flexible, modular. We need more ships like this." The U.S. Navy has chosen Marinette Marine, a Wisconsin-based subsidiary of Italian shipbuilder Fincantieri, to build FFGX. The plan is to build 10 of these new guided-missile frigates, presently referred to as FFGX. The Pentagon announced the contract is valued at $795,116,483. This is a fixed-price deal that covers the cost of designing and constructing the initial ship and also includes separate options for 9 additional frigates. Integrating the first FFGX with the required weapons, sensors, and other systems could raise the total purchase cost to $1.281 billion. Fincantieri's proposal is based on the Franco-Italian Frigata Europea Multimissione (FREM) or European Multi-Mission Frigate design, variants of which are in service with the Italian, French, Egyptian, and Moroccan navies. The Italian shipbuilder beat out offers from a partnership between General Dynamics, Bath Iron Works, and Spanish shipbuilder Navantia, as well as ones from Austal USA and Huntington Ingalls. Lockheed Martin had dropped out in 2019.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.